Okay. Joyous time zones, my Sakonauts. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as the Witch of Tylwyth Teg, and today we are figuring out what chaos magic is in the Condensed Chaos by Phil Hine. Buzz. Oh, Chloe's streaming. It is a shame I am missing Chloe's stream. All right. I'm going to do the thing. I'd like to start this morning with a grounding ritual to start your day. This starts near your domain. I think Condensed Chaos calls it an astral temple, but I call it a domain. It's the same thing. Totally the same thing. If you've not created one, you might want to sign up for my newsletter, which is linked below. Getting everything situated. Sit with your hands in your lap and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a moment, and as you let it out completely through your mouth, let go of the tension from the night and the grogginess of the morning. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe in, imagine you are breathing in pure love. As you breathe out, imagine you are breathing out forgiveness. Take a third deep breath in, and as you do so, imagine a light coming in at the top of your head. It enters at the top of your head and spreads down over your face, neck, and shoulders. This cleansing light now expands along your back, down your legs, and out through your feet. It is as if cleansing light is a constant flow of soothing energy entering from your head and passing out through the arches of your feet. You are just outside the door of your domain. The air is crisp and cool. The evergreens sway slightly in the breeze, and the ground has a large patch of moss at your feet. Step barefoot onto the moss. Feel how soft it is. Feel the solid ground underneath. That light coming into your head can now be translated into energy that you can send out your feet. Convert the light into roots and send the roots out the bottoms of your feet and deep into the earth, as deep as you can. The soil is fresh, easy to toil, easy to carve a path down. Feel how anchored you are. How close to the earth. Reach as far down as you can. The earth hugs your roots comfortably, no matter how sharp or curly, no matter how many times they split off. Slowly pull the roots back up the way they came. Your roots slither through the dark, the soil filling in its wake. Pull the roots back into your feet, convert it back to the light, and let the light filter through you and out the top of your head. Take one more deep breath in and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes. Welcome. If you're just joining us, which doesn't look like you are, we just did our morning grounding ritual. Normally I would do a little plug for my Patreon, but I'm running into problems with Patreon. So until then, you can join me for coffee in the mornings here on YouTube. All right, self-care card. Self-care card. I also have a sandwich here, so I'm probably going to be occasionally nibbling on that while we do the things. I'm having a lot of fun with this condensed chaos. I'm finally to the part about belief and why chaos magic is different from other magic. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit today, but oh, I know, meow. Oh, I know. Such meow. Okay. Also getting in early, so I'm less gassy during game. Yeah, I know that. Yes, I'm having a big breakfast, so I can skip lunch. All right. Ooh, the King of Pentacles. Look at that gray fox. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. Cups. Pentacles. Knight. Queen. Okay. Ba-ba. Large and in charge, capital in all forms. The King of Pentacles is a sign of security, financial prosperity, and worldly gains. He's your businessman with proven models, multiple ventures, and growing enterprises. His energy exudes ambition and confidence, rising with every turn of profit he's ever made. He's committed and responsible to living his best life, which includes security and financial success. He is a provider, his riches supplying holistic wealth. Opportunities are aplenty if you are hardworking, open, and earnest. There is a richness in his vibration, which carries from his appearance to his spirituality. Seeking quality over quantity will raise your vibration around people, places, and things. Take pleasure in profit and watch your wealth reach fulfilling heights. I don't think of the King of Pentacles as being money, 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 but everything else around about it is pretty on point. Ooh, the Nine of Pentacles is awfully pretty. Please get in the box. And because I'm feeling a little fruity and we've got a little bit of time, I want to pull a room. Mostly for myself, but also for you guys. Okay. Where's Doll when I need her? Okay, I need to check to see what direction this needs to be because it came out sideways. Futhark runes. Canaz. Futhark runes. Kenaz. Wyvern's Hoard. Oh, that's the name of the place that's doing the things. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking it up on the internet. I have a deck. I have a deck that explains all that stuff for me. Kenaz. All right. Willpower, passion, desire, love, creative fire, and renewal. Knowledge, craft, tradition, controlled fire, hearth, experience, deeper meaning. Literally torch, esoteric ken, or knowledge. Phoenix fire. Mundane art, technique, improvement of skills, school, and the stars. So maybe today I'll get better at what the fuck I'm doing. Torch as a symbol of knowledge and intellect, illumination, searching for enlightenment, shedding light on matters, quest for truth, skills and abilities, creativity, art, craftsmanship, cunning, acquisition and application of knowledge, occult female secrets, intuition, enthusiasm in teaching and learning, study, kinfire, opportunity, and playfulness. That's interesting. Oh, come on. All the way down. So, the student surpasses the teacher, is what it says. It's interesting. I just realized what time it is and I'm here. Good morning, friends. Good morning. I know the duo of Savvy and RK are still streaming their morning things. Maybe I'll get better at what I'm doing as well. Yeah. At least my game has a plot. Small blessings. Runes. Yes. And you came. Today was Kenaz. Touch was my first rune when I had my first reading. Hey yo, Cat Leo. Good morning. Good morning, doll. I thought of you as soon as I picked up my runes. Which I think a daily rune pulling will help me learn them faster. Hi, Debbie. Lovely to see you. I'm going to take a bite of my sandwich. And look at my book. Oh, torch. I arrive here and you're reading the very same rune. Yeah. When did you start your journey with runes? Just a couple of days ago, right? Because we can learn together. Also, mine are really tiny. Do you have like really big ones? Yes. Definitely. It is too cold for snow, so it is like crackling ice, hail, rain things. It's coating everything in ice. My first experience was a friend did a past, present, future reading, and I got the torch as my present rune. I started studying with them this Monday. Cool. I think I might make it a habit just so I learn it a little faster. Okay. What the hell is chaos magic? When it gets heavy, it sounds like cooking bacon. Yeah, no kidding. I stepped out for my cigarette this morning and it sounded like cooking bacon. My friend Rob said once it's too cold for snow, that the oxygen freezing and falling out of the sky. Yeah. Hello, Spence. It's good to see you. I don't have a set of runes of my own yet. I haven't left the house and I don't know of local stores that sell runes. Actually, I could probably hook you up with a deck where they're nice and big and it's got the meanings right on the card. The important part is the rune is really big on the card. I have an update for Creepypasta Wood's story this morning. Ooh, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Gonna take another sip of my thing. Yeah, I think we're going to talk about the core principles of chaos magic. I know I'm supposed to be on yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about chaos magic, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too. I'll be working on the ending of my new horror short story. Excellent. Went shopping, and when I got home, the crucifix from the rosary I'd hung on the door was busted and laying in the snow. According to my sister who was there, it's a sign it did what it was supposed to. Yeah, she also took it for me to fix it because she does the jewelry things. Freezing oxygen, no wonder the air smells so weird. Yeah. Indeed. Wow. So your wards actually worked. Time to repair them and cleanse them and stick them back up. It's crazy. All right. What do you think of when you hear the word chaos? Hello, Katerina. I actually want to hear what you guys think. What do you think of when you hear the word chaos? State of things in which chance is supreme. An unorganized state of primordial matter before the creation. I might hang one of my other ones up in the meantime. I have less sentimental ones to hold down before it, you know. Disorder. The universe, the state of the universe. Complete with the 3. Absolutely. A confused state or mass. Chaos was the primal source, first of all. This isn't anarchy, this is chaos. In the beginning, there was only chaos. There's all kinds of weird stuff. Chaos is all this and more. A term which means something different for everyone. None of us can ignore chaos. The first mental image is the unorganized disarray of life. Chaos in magic is tapping into the part of the world that lies beneath our comprehension and understanding. Yes and no. None of us can ignore chaos. Air. But that's because my love for Greek mythology, she was originally an air goddess. Oh, interesting. Over the last 20 years or so, chaos has become the buzzword of the revolution in thought and method, spawning a new form of science, new technologies, a whole new emerging worldview. Sorry, I'm getting like notifications and it's mildly distracting. While chaos theory has been generating debate within the scientific community, chaos magic has been creating controversy within occult circles. It has been labeled variously as English thelema, the blackest form of dark power, which that was a misconception I had for sure. And Gittard magic. At the core of this revolution is the recognition that the scientific worldview, which has set the limitations of acknowledged human experience, is crumbling. That new visions and models are required, as are new ways of being, more importantly, new ways of doing. Magic, chaos magic is a new approach to doing magic. Also fractals. That is definitely a factor. In Liber Null, there is like a whole section dedicated to fractals and chaos theory and all of that jazz. Like the first 3 chapters is all chaos theory and quantum physics. Which is why it was so fucking crunchy right off the bat. Core principles of chaos magic. While magical systems usually base themselves around a model or a map of spiritual physical universe, such as the Tree of Life, which can sometimes be described as cosmic Filofax, chaos magic is based on a very few core principles, which generally underlie its approach to magic. They are not universal axioms, however, so feel free to swap them around. 1. The avoidance of dogmatism. Chaos magic strive to avoid falling into dogmatism unless expressing dogmatism is a part of a temporary belief system that they have entered. Discordians use catmyths such as us Discordians must stick apart. Thus, chaos magicians feel entitled to change their minds, contradict themselves, and come up with arguments that are alternatively plausible and implausible. It has been pointed out that we invest a lot of time and energy in being right. What's wrong with being wrong occasionally? Am I right? Step 2. Personal experience is paramount. In other words, don't take my word and such is the case. Check it out for yourself. Magic has suffered extensively from armchair theorists who have perpetuated myths and out-of-date information purely due to laziness of one kind or another. Sometimes it's interesting to ask awkward questions just to see what the self-appointed experts come out with. Some will emit a stream of verbal diarrhea rather than admit to not knowing the answer, whereas a true adept will probably say, I haven't a fucking clue. Quite early on, chaos magicians came to the startling discovery that once you strip away the layers of dogma, personal beliefs, attitudes, and anecdotes around any particular technique of practical magic, it can quite simply be described. Step 3, not step 3, but, thingy 3. 1, technical excellence. I can't talk today. One of the early misconceptions about chaos magic was that it gave practitioners carte blanche to do whatever they liked, and so become sloppy or worse, soggy in their attitudes to self-assessment, analysis, etc. This is not so. The chaos approach has always advocated rigorous self-assessment and analysis, emphasized practice at what techniques you're experimenting with until you get the results you desire. Learning to do magic requires that you develop a set of skills and abilities, and if you're going to get involved in all this weird stuff, why not do it to the best of your ability? Deconditioning, which is... I just read a nice long section about deconditioning in ego magic, and it was a doozy. Deconditioning. The chaos paradigm proposes that one of the primary tasks of aspiring magician is to thoroughly decondition yourself from the mesh of beliefs, attitudes, and fictions about self, society, and the world. Our ego is a fiction of stable selfhood, which maintains itself by perpetuating the distinctions of what I am and what I am not, what I like and what I don't like, beliefs about one's politics, religion, gender preference, degree of free will, race, subculture, etc. All help maintain a stable sense of self, while the little ways in which we pull against the very stability allows us to feel as though we are unique individuals. Using deconditioning exercises, we can start to widen the cracks in our consensual reality, which hopefully enables us to become less attached to our beliefs and ego fictions, and thus able to discard or modify them when appropriate. Deconditioning is also the idea of, and I struggle with this a little bit because I apparently have been preconditioned to automatically be mindful and, aim for world peace and manifest my will through various actions and methods. So I don't know what to say to that, but for those who were a fanatic Christian beforehand and they find chaos magic and they become a fanatic chaos magician, that is not deconditioning. That is bringing his preconceived notions into chaos magic, and that is less productive. Diverse approaches. As mentioned earlier, traditional approaches to magic involve choosing one particular system and sticking to it. The chaos perspective, if nothing else, encourages an eclectic approach to development, and chaos magicians are free to choose from any of the available magic system themes from literature, television, religions, cults, parapsychology, etc., etc. This approach means that if you approach two chaos magicians and ask them what they're doing at any one moment, you're rarely likely to find much of a consensus of approach. This makes chaos difficult to pin down as one thing or another, which again tends to worry those who need approaches to magic to be neatly labeled and clear. And number 6, Gnosis. One of the keys to magical ability is the ability to enter altered states of consciousness at will. We tend to draw a distinct line between ordinary consciousness and altered states, where in fact we move between different states of consciousness, such as daydreams, autopilot, where we carry out actions without cognition, and varying degrees of attention all the time. However, as far as magic is concerned, the willed entry of the intense altered states can be divided into two poles of physiological gnosis, inhibitory states, and excitatory states. The former includes physically passive techniques such as meditation, yoga, scrying, contemplation, and sensory deprivation, while the latter includes chanting, drumming, dancing, emotional, and sexual arousal. The chaos magic movement had its first stirrings in the late 1970s in England. While the new phenomena of punk rock was grabbing the newspaper headlines, the scientists across the world were beginning to delve into the mysterious mathematical world of fractals and nonlinear dynamics. A new approach to magical practice was being synthesized in the wilds of West Yorkshire. At the time, English occultism was very much dominated by the three strands of popular witchcraft. Western Kabbalah, and Thelema. At least there were enough people interested in these approaches to spawn supporting magazines. In one such magazine, The New Equinox, there appeared the early writings of Peter J. Carroll, who is considered the foremost exponent of modern chaos magic. By 1978, there appeared the first advertisements for the Illuminates of Thanateros. I keep reading it and then actually uttering the word is a tongue twister. An order whose practices were composed of a blend of shamanism, Taoism, Tantra, and Thelema. The announcement of this new order was shortly followed by the first edition of Peter Carroll's Liber Null, which, while describing the basic philosophy and practical approaches, did not contain the term chaos magic. Liber Null was closely followed by the Book of Results by Ray Sherwin, which lucidly explained Austin Osman Spare's great magical innovation, sigil magic. Austin Osman Spare is considered by many to be the grandfather of chaos magic. An obscure figure brought to light by the work of Kenneth Grant, Spare was a superb magical artist, sorcerer, and spiritualist. At a time when many of his contemporaries sneered at table tapping and contacting spirit guides in favor of elaborate Rosicrucian ceremonies. Spare was painting the spirits he was in contact with and using his own system of sentient letters, sigils, to manifest his desires. Spare was not particularly enamored of the Golden Dawn style approach to magic and makes some very acid comments on the subject in the Book of Pleasure in 1913. Others praise magic and are supposed to suffer ecstasy. Our asylums are crowded. The stage is overrun. Is it by symbolizing we become symbolized? Were I to crown myself king, should I be king? Rather, should I be an object of disgust or pity? These magicians, whose sincerity is their safety, are but the unemployed dandies of the brothels. Magic is but one natural ability to attract without asking. Ceremony what is unaffected. Its doctrine the negation of theirs. I know them well, and their creed of learning that teaches the fear of their own light. Their practices prove their incapacity. They have no magic to intensify the normal, the joy of a child or healthy person, none to evoke their pleasure or wisdom from themselves. So the Golden Dawn is kind of like, I think it's, let me Google Golden Dawn real quick. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was a secret society devoted to the study and practice of occult metaphysics and paranormal activities during the 19th and 20th centuries. Known as a magical order, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was active in Great Britain and focused its practices on theurgy and spiritual development. Many present-day concepts of ritual and magic that are the center of contemporary traditions such as Wicca and Thelema were inspired by the Golden Dawn, which became one of the largest single influences on 20th century Western occultism. So, they also get into Crowley and stuff like that. The Book of Pleasure, subtitled The Psychology of Ecstasy, contains the essentials of Spare's magical philosophy and the key techniques with which he applied it. It's not an easy book to read, and Spare is often referred to as an incomprehensible mystic. His vocabulary is wide, his use of grammar is strange, and he uses many terms in ways that give them a different meaning from their usual context. Nor was he attempting to write in a textbook style that modern readers were used to. The Book of Pleasure is very stylistically reminiscent of an old grimoire before it has been tidied up. Fortunately, the Book of Results gave a very clear exposition of sigil magic. Liber Null also dealt with Spare's concept of the alphabet of desire. Sigil work. Another powerful influence of development of chaos magic was the work of Aleister Crowley. Crowley synthesized as a magical worldview a psychocosm of his studies in magic and esoteric fields such as Golden Dawn, yoga, alchemy, Kabbalah, and from his experience in other disciplines. Moreover, it is Crowley's life rather than his voluminous magical and mystical writings that is of interest. Crowley took his personal experience, magical and otherwise, and created his own enclave beyond the boundaries of conventional morality. He deliberately sought extremes of experience, concealing and at the same time revealing himself through a series of colorful personalities. Part of Crowley's attraction for the modern magician is that he created something which has enduring power, a psychocosm which continues to be developed and twisted into different forms. Crowley did not so much follow a tradition. He embodied a dynamic process of reality engagement, creating his own path from whatever he happened to find in front of him. Also, Liber Null kind of talked about the idea that not everybody has the aptitude for magic. Aleister Crowley had a whole bunch of students, and a lot of those students could not follow him. Like, they couldn't keep up. Oop, wrong bookmark. The early growth of chaos magic was characterized by a loose network of informal groups who came together to experience with possibilities of the new current. With the demise of the new equinox, the Chaos Kids reported their results and heresies in the pages of the new British occult magazine, The Lamp of Thoth. The early Chaos books were joined by 2 tapes, The Chaos Concept, which discussed the basics of chaos magic, and The Chaos Chamber, a science fiction pathworking which combines elements of Star Trek, Michael Moorcock, and H.G. Wells. The Sorcerer's Apprentice Press then released Liber Null and the Book of Results, as well as Peter Carroll's Sakonauts. These, together with articles from the growing chaos corpus in the Lamp of Thoth, drew more people into experimenting with the new approach. Thanks to the efforts of Ralph Tegmeyer, the chaos approach was also receiving attention in continental Europe. The simple message of chaos is that what is fundamental to magic is the actual doing of it. That, like sex, no amount of theorizing and intellectualization can substitute for actual experience. Carroll's Liber Null therefore presented the bare bones of the magical techniques which can be employed to bring about the change in one's circumstances. Liber Null. Come on, post it, come up. Concentrated on techniques, saying that actual methods of magic are basically shared by different systems, despite the differing symbols, beliefs, and dogmas. What symbol systems you wish to employ is a matter of choice, and that webs of belief which surround them are means to an end rather than the ends in themselves. More on this later. An important influence on the development of chaos magic was the writing of Robert Anton Wilson and Company, particularly the Discordian Society, who revered Eris, the Greek goddess of chaos. The Discordians pointed out that humor, clowning about, and general lightheartedness was conspicuously absent from magic, which had a tendency to become very serious and very self-important. There was, and to a certain extent remains, a tendency for occultists to think of themselves as initiated elite compared to the rest of humanity. I lost my place, hold on. The Discordian Society is, in its own words, a tribe of philosophers, theologians, magicians, scientists, artists, clowns, and similar maniacs who are intrigued with Eris, the goddess of confusion, and with her doings. The existence of the Discordian Society was first popularized in Robert Anton Wilson and Robert Shea's blockbusting Illuminatus trilogy, and also in I'm not going to try. The Younger's book, Principia Discordia, which sets out the basic principles of the Discordian religion, a religion based around the Greek goddess Eris. Traditionally, Eris was the daughter of Nox, night, and the wife of Cronus. She begat a whole bunch of gods: sorrow, forgetfulness, hunger, disease, combat, murder, lies. Nice kids. The ancient Greeks attributed any kind of upset or discord to her. With the fall of the ancient empires, Eris disappeared, though it is suspected that she had a hand in manifesting the first bureaucracies, triplicate forms, and insurance companies. She didn't put in a personal appearance again on Spaceship Gaia again until the late 1950s, when she appeared to 2 young Californians who later became known as Omar Ravenhurst and Malaclips. the younger, and gave them the message to tell the constricted mankind that there are no rules unless they choose to invent rules. After which Omar and Mal appointed each other high priest of his own madness and declared themselves to be the Society of Discordia, whatever that may be. Eris has since climbed her way from historical footnote to mythic megastar, and the Discordian movement, if such a thing can be said to exist, is growing on both sides of the Atlantic, helped by the Discordian tactic of declaring that everyone is the genuine pope. I'm going to pause there for a second. So there is a Buddhist principle, particularly in Soka Gakkai, that believes that no life should be valued over another, and that they don't believe in a hierarchy. They believe that everyone is a bodhisattva of the earth and everyone is capable of being the Buddha. We are all capable of such things. And so the idea that chaos magic has a similar view of things is, like, that's one of the things I was conditioned with. So do I purge this condition, or do I subscribe to what chaos magic also subscribes to Buddhism? I don't know. But that quote really sticks out to me. That everyone is a genuine pope. More people getting into the idea of religion based on a celebration of confusion and madness. The central Greek myth that Eris figures prominently in is the ever-continuing soap opera of Mount Olympus, Home of the Gods, the episode which inadvertently brought about the Trojan War. It seems that Zeus was throwing a party and did not want to invite Eris because of her reputation as a troublemaker. Infuriated by the snub, Eris fashioned a golden apple inscribed with the word Kalisti, to the prettiest one, and tossed it into the hall where all the guests were. 3 of the invited goddesses, Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, each claimed the apple for themselves and started fighting and throwing food around. To settle the dispute, Zeus ordered all 3 to submit to the judgment of a mortal over just who was the prettiest one, and said mortal was Paris, son of King of Troy. Zeus sent all 3 to Paris via Hermes, but each goddess tried to outwit the others by sneaking out early and offering a bribe to Paris. Athena offered Paris victory in battle, Hera great wealth, while Aphrodite merely loosened the clasp by which her tunic was fastened and unknotted her girdle, also offering Paris the most beautiful of mortal women. So Aphrodite got the apple, and Paris got off with Helen, who unfortunately happened to be married to Menelaus, king of Sparta. Thanks to the meddling of Athena and Hera, the Trojan War followed, and the rest, they say, is history. Right. No life is more valuable than another. So in the 90s, there was a mass excommunication of Buddhists of the latter day, basically, saying that we had strayed too far from the path. And SGI calls it spiritual independence, in that they don't believe in that clergy should have any power over people. That priests are not any more powerful than the average man. That the Deconditioning is not any more powerful than a Xerox copy. Like, all of that jazz. So I have this document open that talks about that for the most part. Oh, I scanned all the way to the bottom. Hold up. So there are two paramount beliefs embraced in Nietzschean Buddhism. One is the absolute sanctity of human life, and two is the opposition to forces that diminish human life. These beliefs are what inform the actions of the SGI in relation to Nietzschean and Shoshu priesthood. To value one life over another is anathema to Nietzschean's teachings. And you're with Artemis, yeah. Right on. So like, to compare, just because I know more doesn't mean I'm any more powerful than Doll. She is just as capable as I am of reaching enlightenment, of becoming a super powerful mage, you know, a magus or whatever, right? So that concept pisses a lot of people off. Also, there's a good sum up here. Freedom of belief. One aspect of chaos magic that seems to upset people is the chaos magicians, or chaoist, if you like. Occasional fondness for working with images culled from non-historical sources, such as invoking H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos beings, mapping the Rocky Horror Show onto the Tree of Life, slamming the astral void in an X-Wing fighter, and channeling communications from gods that didn't exist 5 minutes ago. Like, 4chan has a massive chaos magic community. And no. You cannot only learn from books, you have to learn by doing. You are currently in the armchair theorist category of Magus. So the trick is that there are simple rituals that you can do to accomplish a spell, a very powerful spell, mind you, that anyone can do. It's all about intention. And then how you accomplish that intention is going to differ from person to person. Like, you can't say that someone's a slut if they're a virgin. It doesn't pan out because she doesn't have the experience, right? She can know all the ins and outs. She can know all the, things about procreation. She can know anatomy like crazy. And she can know all the book smarts about sex, right? But unless she actually does it, she's still a virgin. Oh, sourdough in the oven. I see. I think everyone works at their own pace in a way is better than the other. Exactly. I think there are simpler ways to do things, but what is simple to me is not necessarily simple to you, and what is simple to you is not necessarily simple to me. Everyone's going to have their own shortcuts. And there's nothing wrong with shortcuts. I'm going to say that again. There's nothing wrong with shortcuts when it comes to magic, like cord magic, like rope. You take a piece of cord and you start making knots. And by the time you make the 10th knot, your spell is done. Shortcuts should be encouraged. Absolutely. I mean, Wiccans and Golden Dawn folks and all of that jazz, they are super into traditional rituals and all of that, like calling the four corners and invoking all the gods and casting the circle and then breaking down the circle and all of that jazz. Knows all the ins and outs, but doesn't do the thing. Yeah. Right, exactly. So chaos magic is of the mind that however you do it, the point is you got the end product. And that is actually like a way that I look at life as well. Excuses are just that. They are excuses. If I was late for something because like my dad was going into surgery or something, it doesn't matter that my dad was going into surgery. I was late. Now I can have a justification and I can try and basically appeal to my meetings, the person who I was meeting, appeal to their empathy, sure, to allow me to be late or to accept that I was late. But no matter what, I was late. In a battle, well put. Path of least resistance. Great example. I have a friend who is going to blow a whistle on her work, on the place of which she works, her hospital, which she doesn't agree with how things are being run. And I'm inclined to agree. So she is going to war with the administration, and which I need to ask her how that's going. She's like, I'm going to war. I'm dyeing my hair red. I'm painting my nails red. I am bolstering myself for war. And so every morning that week, I stir my coffee to the right, clockwise, and I say she will emerge victorious. Honey Ray will emerge victorious. And then on the new moon, I did like an outright ritual sort of situation. And because I'm a chaos witch, I went about, oh, it's on the table. I went about making my sigils on my tablet and then erasing them as the destruction, which gets the job done. If you liked this video at any point, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see some more of this condensed chaos craziness, then you might want to subscribe and maybe ring the bell on personalized on the off chance that it will actually inform you that I have gone live. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.